A massive thank you to Bogdan, Jamie, Racer, Anthony and Alan for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 12 of Season 3 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back today at the Temple of Speed, ready here in Italy. Monza, an iconic track on the Formula 1 calendar, of course, played host to Daniel Ricciardo's race victory last weekend. Of course, though, in this series, a lot differently playing out at this stage of the season. If you missed out on yesterday's video from the Dutch Grand Prix, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out. But yeah, fingers crossed this weekend we can have another good showing here. We have still got the facility upgrade currently in the works as well. That should be ready for the next weekend, so fingers crossed then we'll be able to get the last few upgrades on to the powertrain there. We've got one more upgrade currently going on the chassis. You can see that is in development, and then we're going to put the final upgrade on now as well, the suspension geometry that should be ready. We could risk it and try and get it done before Russia, or we could just play it sensibly and get it done ready for the Japanese Grand Prix there. I think getting it before Russia and Singapore would be really ideal there, but a 46% chance of failure. Not looking too great ready for that weekend there. In terms of any other upgrades at the moment, we've got 1,000 R&D points still left in the pocket. We can go with the turbo reliability as well, so we'll do that one as well. That'll be ready after the Russian Grand Prix. But after last weekend, we did have more warnings about engine penalties potentially coming in there. The control electronics up to 65% wear here, and don't really want to risk it too much heading into the Italian Grand Prix. So what I'm going to do, we're going to put a whole fresh engine in the back of the car. Obviously, Monza is such a power-orientated circuit anyway, we should be able to fly our way through the field as well there. But yeah, we're going to put a whole fresh power unit in. A lot of the other parts aren't too bad, but it does then mean right towards the end of the season, we've got a bit more flexibility with going back to order parts without having to take penalties and everything like that as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Then we'll dive into practice, and then of course we'll be starting from the back anyway, so we may as well dive in to the to the Italian Grand Prix even, I should say. Let's get on with this thing. Well, I'm really hoping with a bit of luck then this weekend, an alternate strategy and a fresh engine can try and elevate our way up the order here. You know, maybe a lucky safety car as well wouldn't go amiss this weekend, but obviously we'll have to wait and see as to how things pan out there. Of course, Monza are always a big opportunity to score good points for us, so fingers crossed we can maintain that sort of momentum this weekend. But yeah, starting from the rear of the field though, going to make things rather difficult, but we like a challenge on F1 2021, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Right, round the final corner though to complete our tyre wear program. This is a pretty good sign to start the weekend. There's going to be a nice purple score there by over a second as well. Right, and then we're going to jump into the race simulation program. I haven't done too many of these in recent races, but of course with no qualifying, I think it's probably worth doing this weekend. And, of course, should be pretty simple as well.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
Well, so far so good in free practice, but we just got to get one more lap in for the purple score. I'm rounding the final corner then to complete our free practice programs. It looks like this last lap's going to be the best one there. 2 seconds clear of the Delta. We're doing a race sim and we're fastest.
So far, we're getting great data. Stay focused.
Nice haul of points. Let's get ready then for the Italian Grand Prix.
Welcome back to one of only 2 countries that has held a race every year since the very first Formula 1 World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations. And it's time to get underway for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6 mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc and Gasly, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Button and Sergio Perez, Joe, Russell, Esteban Ocon and Mazepin, Stroll, Bottas, Nicholas Latifi and Christian Lundgaard, Giovinazzi, Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher and Mr. Monaco. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
It worries me that Jeff is still saying that when on paper we have the fastest car in Formula 1. But we are ready, though, on the grid for the Italian Grand Prix, round 12 of the year here. And like I said, we're going to try the alternate strategy this weekend. If it works for us, it works. If it doesn't, then we won't really have lost out too much either in this Grand Prix. So we're going to go 15 laps on mediums, and then, what are we doing, 12 on the softs towards the end there. Not too sure why the minimum amount of fuel we can put in is 27.2 laps worth in a 27-lap Grand Prix. But yeah, we won't worry about that too much here. Ready at Monza. But fingers crossed we can climb our way through the field here today. Let's just dive in then, starting on the mediums, going to the softs from the back of the grid. It's going to be our last question mark challenge, this one. Waiting on those 5 red lights. We need a good lap 1. And it's the lights out, and away we go there. Schumacher responding immediately, incredibly well as we head down towards turn 1. Just a little bit cautious there in towards the first corner, as everyone else, of course, is going to fan out there. Look at Schumacher and Lundgaard. Schwartzman even, I should say, going side by side in towards the first corner. We're going to go side by side with the Haskars there as we try to make it through, but no room there on the outside on the exit of turn 1, so we will have to slot in just behind Schwartzman and Mick Schumacher. Why on earth is the gearbox so worn suddenly? Oh no, it's because we were having the practice one in, of course, practice. That's okay then, so at least I know that. Shouldn't cost us too much this weekend there as we go round the outside of Schumacher, so we have now made progress up at the start of this Grand Prix, straight up into P21 there, but it looks like everyone in front of us is on a set of the soft compound tyres, so making progress early on might be a bit difficult, but we have got a mighty fast race car on our hands here today. Of course, so good down the top end speed is this 212 V3 Challenger here. We're not quite going to get close enough to Schwartzman to think about ascend in towards Ascari on lap 1, and it's of course still a long race ahead of us. Don't want to take too many risks early on in this race there. You can see we've got so much straight line speed on the exit of the corner to the outside of the Haas, down in towards the new final corner there. Of course, the Alboreto curve. Lando Norris leads the way though at the end of lap 1 as he looks to try and take the lead of the Drivers' Championship away from Hamilton. Right, heading out of the Lesmos for the second time in this race, getting a nice big run on home by Antonio Giovinazzi. He's going to give us a squeeze to the outside as we head down in towards Ascari here. We've still got a bit more top-end speed. And Gio, yeah, we need to not get involved in that one. Straight up now into P19 of this race.
That brings you up a place.
Team seemingly happy with that one as well, which is always reassuring. And I think early on in this race,
being enabled this lap, we can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
on to lap 3 all over the back of Lundgaard. I think early on it's just going to be trying to move past a lot of these slower cars there around the outside of the Alfa Romeo. Seem to really struggle to get the front end rotated through turn 2, but not going to cost us anything this time. Next up we've got the two Williams. Going to be very, very close to see whether Latifi's got DRS on his teammate Valtteri Bottas up the road. I don't think he has. So we head out the final corner, so now we're going to get a real test.
Ahead is 4.8 seconds.
JB only 4 seconds up the road there, but Latifi, yeah, nice going defensive, mate. Not going to be a lot you can do. Braking mighty late, though, down towards turn 1. Almost locked all 4 wheels up there. But we don't panic. We get it slowed down, and 17th is now ours. This will be now in the Grand Prix, where things might just get a little bit more difficult as we come up towards a cluster of cars. Obviously can't go for the big late diving moves on some people in case you run into the guy in front. But all over the back of Bottas as that grants a warning in this race there. We only just got the car on the white line out of the final turn there. But 224, 225 miles an hour back down towards turn 1. Myself and Bottas pretty even there as Stroll almost gets clobbered by the Williams. But round the outside again we go, and now up into 16th place here. Slow progress early on. You can see there is a huge train that extends to like P6, I want to say. Might be P5 in this GP. The Aston Martins, of course, always mighty strong down the straightaways here as well, as we try and get a bit close to the Canadian.
Ocon, they have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
So Esteban Ocon's going to be struggling, massively struggling in fact, as we head through Sector 2 and in towards the final sector of that there. Bottas might now be able to get a big run on us, as Mazepin got caught out in all of that. We got more yellow flags out, not too sure what's going on. As we head in towards the final corner there, I think we were lucky not to pick up damage from the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll, but out of the final corner, surely now Mazepin is just going to get swarmed in this Grand Prix as we head back down in towards the first corner here. Russell to the outside, Stroll to the inside, 3 wide in front of us there. We're going to try and follow George Russell down around the outside in towards turn 1 there. Even more contact as we're still 3 wide through the first turn. Mazepin nowhere to go in the middle there. Him and Stroll can continue that battle. They're still 3 wide behind us. It all got a little bit too close for comfort through Sector 1 there, but we have held on. One of the Haas cars has had some issues as well. But yeah, a little bit of chaos and drama there. Oh, Button, what's happened to him? Button's looped it round by himself in this Grand Prix, so suddenly we're to 12th place here, right behind George Russell. But Jenson Button, on what could have been a mega weekend for the team, is span it around, and yeah, it's going to be right down towards the rear of the field. Surely now George Russell's going to be a bit of a sitting duck as we head on to lap 8 here already. Getting well into this Grand Prix. It's always so surprising just how quickly you rack up the laps here at Monza. And of course, running lap times down in the 120s as we clean around the outside of Russell there down towards turn 1. Nothing he can do. But yeah, always amazing just how quickly you rack up the laps.
Nice move.
We've got the Red Bulls, the Alpha Tauris, and I think I'm trying to work out which the other car involved in this battle is just up the road. Yeah, it must be Yuki Tsunoda, of course, in the Mercedes as well there. So a good little battle going on between all the Honda-powered cars and the Honda-backed driver.
Keep this up, we're leading our teammate by 15.4 seconds. Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Jeff got a lot of stuff going on there, as that is not quite the line through turn 1. What is the strat? Lap 16, no, want to be pitting as early as possible onto those soft compound tyres. Thank you very much. Now we've got to get within the DRS of these guys. Oh, there we go. First pit is in this Grand Prix there. That's Pierre Gasly. Of course, we had a brilliant battle with last weekend into the box. So now we're up into 10th place in this race. But yeah, still closing up on a lot of cars. Still on the harder rubber. I've got to keep reminding myself this, so we should be quick later on in this race. Peugeot seems to be having tremendous traction in the acceleration zones here as we try and stay close to the young Chinese driver. It could be on for some well-earned points this weekend. Oh, that was a big hit of understeer though through the final corner. Coming out the power nice and early. Are we going to see him into the pits? Yes, we are. So Verstappen and Zhou into the pit lane here. We're going to be trying to close up to Perez as we've got a couple of other guys in the box as well. Lando Norris, though, I think still leads the way. But now, yeah, we've got Perez and Tsunoda separating us in the podium places. Now I think we're going to see Perez into the pits at the end of this one, so I'm not going to try and go for any risky sort of dive or anything like that. We'll just claim some DRS on the exit of the corner there, as you can see all the Red Bull just wobbling in the back end ever so slightly there. So we are now going to inherit the lead of this Grand Prix, as Sainz into the box as well as Lando Norris. So now we've just got to keep our head down and focus over the next couple of laps there. Russell.
Great job. Excellent work. First place now, P1.
Jeff clearly hasn't quite got the memo there, but we won't worry about that too much. I'm just hoping some of these guys can come out in some traffic and hold each other up. Now, though, would be the perfect time for a safety car. So if anyone at Codemasters is listening, give us a safety car.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
New fast lap of the Grand Prix. Not going to last for long, though. I think Lando Norris is probably going to smash that very soon, as well as someone else that's just come through the pit lane. But yeah, these mediums still definitely got a lot of life in them. That, though, was not the line through 1. Well, it looks like the dream weekend so far for McLaren there. Once I've pit, they're going to be 1-2 in this race, as Hamilton's still stuck battling with Charles Leclerc in his Ferrari here. So it could be 1-2 for McLaren, 5-6 for Mercedes at the end of this one. But I'm hoping we can try and beat out Yuki Tsunoda by the end of this Grand Prix. They're into the pits we come, though. We should be very, very fast in the second half of this Grand Prix. Coders haven't listened to us. They haven't given us a safety car when we really wanted one here, but I'm thinking we should come out around Yuki Tsunoda And I think Verstappen's still in this Grand Prix, as long as we get a nice clean stop. There we go, 2.4. It's not too shabby there, and the car actually got away as well on the exit. We might come out just behind these guys actually looking at it. I'm not going to see, oh look at that, Verstappen and Tsunoda side by side down towards turn 1 there. It looks like Verstappen has just about held on. But we are now going to be right within, I was about to say attacking range there, as we lose a little bit of time over the auto spin curb. But yeah, now we're within 1 second of these guys. We're up in the points, and we're going to be mighty fast between now and the end. How much more can we gain? Only time will tell, but still a safety car would be mighty useful. And already really utilising this extra grip that we've got on the soft compounded tyres here as we try and get a good run on Yuki Tsunoda down in towards Ascari. Oh, he goes offensive, but we go much, much later on the brakes there still. And we do complete the move, and we don't even lose much time to Verstappen in the process. That was a brave, brave move there. I wasn't expecting Tsunoda, A, to squeeze me that much, and B, to try and go so defensive on the brakes. But can we get past Verstappen as well? Just a couple of corners later here. We've got to really try and utilise this fresh rubber at this stage of the Grand Prix. They get a really nice run out of the final corner. They're draining the battery entirely, as now we've got the DRS there, reset of the charge as we head back down towards turn 1. We've got Hamilton and Leclerc still battling out of the road.
Good job, nice overtake.
But yeah, another little move there on Verstappen, and now up to 6th place in this race. How much more can we try and get? I tell you what, when this car's in the groove, it is really fast. On F1 2021 there, across the line, a 1:17.5.
That's a new fastest lap of the race. Gap
in race trim
is 23.0 seconds.
Leclerc and Hamilton, though, having a battle 2019-esque as we head back down towards turn 1 there. Hamilton darting and diving to try and get any room against the Ferrari car there. But yeah, surely it's not going to be long now before we're past both of these guys. Maybe we can pull it off. We can do it in one clean swoop as well. But it looks like Sainz is Ferrari's only hope for a race victory this weekend. But still a long old way to go. Only a 2/3 distance still. And plenty has happened already. We're trying to get a run on Hamilton. Can we do what we did to Tsunoda just a few laps ago here? Mercedes just have no top-end speed as we head down in towards Ascari again, this time around on the racing line. And again, just like we did at Spa, clean around the outside of Lewis Hamilton there on the brakes. And yeah, Hamilton, we have mugged him off a couple of times recently. Ricciardo, though, only 10 seconds up the road, battling it out with Carlos Sainz there. But we've got to try and get past the other Ferrari before we focus on trying to close up the gap to them. Look at the grip that we've got out with the Alboreto curve there as we head back down towards the start-finish line to the outside of Charles Leclerc once more.
Strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
Goodbye, Charles. Well, we'll see you at the end of the race, mate. Oh, we got yellow flags out. I think that's Yuki Tsunoda, who might be falling to the wayside here. So Mercedes, it goes from bad to worse this weekend there. Yuki Tsunoda now out of the Italian Grand Prix there. It's not going to give us a safety car, though, which we could have really done with in this race to try and bunch up the front runners there. But Tsunoda out, and Mercedes, yeah, it looks like the Constructors' title might be going away from them. McLaren just uber consistent all year long up to now, and looks like it's going to continue. And there is Tsunoda's abandoned Mercedes.
Yellow flag ahead.
The 2 years he spent with the team there has surely not been a fruitful endeavour. He can't help but feel like a change might be coming soon. Out of nowhere, new PB by 0.005 of a second, as we are really now closing up to Ricciardo and Sainz as they keep battling each other. They keep going side by side through the chicanes. Let's have a look at the delta. Look at that, 0.7. 0.8 in 2 corners. It's the opposite as Anvil, where we lose half a second in a corner. Now we can gain it here at Monza, but yeah, it does require them to keep battling, as Lando Norris looking pretty safe. Heading on to lap 23, though, of this Grand Prix. It's getting really close now between Ricciardo, Sainz and myself as we head back down towards turn 1 there. Ricciardo's going to go to the inside there. Sainz is going to go defensive as well. Can we pull off a cheeky double overtake down around the outside? We give Sainz a big old squeeze on the exit of the corner there. Ricciardo sneaks by as well. And Sainz out of nowhere loses 2 places in this Grand Prix there. Ricciardo gains nothing, loses nothing, but we gain 2 places down around the outside. With still 5 laps to go of this Italian Grand Prix there. Hold on to it, Matt. Don't do that. Oh, Ricciardo, what you doing, man? Ricciardo, he's just completely rammed into us and taken himself out of the Grand Prix. And we got a safety car.
Risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
What was that from Daniel Ricciardo, though? We got a big kick of oversteer as we tried to save it out of turn, what was it, turn 4, turn 5 even, I should say. And Ricciardo, yeah, I didn't mean to cut across me if that's what he felt happened, but I thought we had enough speed to go back towards the racing line, in towards the first Lesmo there, but Ricciardo out of the Italian Grand Prix there, and that is a hammer blow for his title chances. For us, however, it's going to bring us right up towards Lando Norris in this Grand Prix, but massive apologies to Ricciardo if we came across him there. Like I said, just trying to get the car pointing in the right direction, and we just seem to come together there. But that is a big, big change in this Grand Prix. Right, safety car is going to be pitting in then at the end of this lap, and we need to try and get past Schumacher almost immediately in this Grand Prix. The pace has been mighty strong in the second half here, and out of nowhere, we might have a shot at just our second ever race victory in this F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. We won the first in dramatic circumstances at Baku way back in Season 2, but now there's an opportunity to try and do it again here as we head out of the final corner. Not responding well to the lights though as we head out of the final turn there. Schumacher though is going to pull to the inside as we head down towards turn 1 there and get out of the way of us, so thank you very much to Mick Schumacher. But now we've got, yeah, less than 2 laps to try and get a run on Lando Norris here as we get a load of understeer through turn 1 there. Like we always say, struggle to get the tyres up to temperature the same way the AI can there. And look at that, Lando Norris romping away off the restart. So a mega restart by him as we've got to try and defend from Carlos Sainz in this race. But yeah, we've now got the tyres working a bit more, it feels there. Just try and keep it between the white lines. But yeah, now we've got to really try and switch on this rubber if we want any sort of look in at the victory. And now on to the final lap then of this Italian Grand Prix there. Can we get close enough to Lando Norris?
Final lap of the race.
Gap just hovering at around the 1 second mark as we head back down towards turn 1 here. But again, we've still got slightly fresher, softer rubber to see us through this final lap here. Taking a load of curb through turn 1. Get the car rotated through turn 2. Then roll on the power nice and tidily this time round as we've got to make sure we drain the entirety of the battery pack on this final lap here. But Lando Norris still about a second up the road here. Of course, we won't get any DRS to try and help ourselves get a little bit closer. We'll take a big risk over the curbs through the second chicane there, and again try to roll on the power as early as possible here as we head down through the first Lesmo. We are still gaining on Lando. Are we going to get any opportunity? I think our only chance is to really try to nail Ascari there, a bit wide out of the second Lesmo here, and the gap just opening back up towards 1 second here, and it might just be too little too late in this Italian Grand Prix.
We need to get past.
The team though, spot on. We do need to try and get past there, being really, really brave out of Ascari there. That was on the limit, but it just doesn't look like we're going to get a lifeline here right in the dying stages of this Italian Grand Prix there. McLaren may have won it in real life. It might have been Ricciardo then, but Lando Norris rounds the final corner to win the Italian Grand Prix there, and we just couldn't get there at the end. That is heartbreaking.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you pulled through. Thank you.
There it is then, victory in the Italian Grand Prix. An historic race and an achievement they can be immensely proud of. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Lando Norris takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. McLaren continue to increase their gap at the top. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Italian Grand Prix there, and last to second. We just didn't quite have enough left in the tank at the end there to really go for a run on Lando Norris. But, to be fair, it would have been pretty controversial had we had that crash with Ricciardo and then been able to take home the race victory when all is said and done. There's 0.6 of a second between us, but honestly, I reckon that was the best race we've driven on F1 2021 in terms of pace and consistency there. It is the old McLaren duo, though. Sainz does get the podium as well. They're for Ferrari, so very, very happy faces down at Maranello. I'm sure the Hamilton in a Ferrari sandwich, Charles Leclerc in P5, they're ahead of the Red Bulls there. Gasly, Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou around 90 top 10 there. So Bottas, more points on the board for Williams as well. There's AlphaTauri really seem to have got into a stride late on in this campaign there. Russell beats out Mazepin and JB there. Was lucky that safety car sort of saved face for him late on in the Grand Prix. And yeah, just Ricciardo and Tsunoda there, the two number twos, it must be said, in their respective teams there, not making it to the checkered flag. Championship-wise, though, Lando on top, 6 points clear now, Hamilton and Ricciardo out of nowhere, 60 points back in the Drivers' Championship. It has all fallen apart rather suddenly for the Australian there, but yeah, it does look like it's going to be a battle between the two Brits between now and the end of the year there. Technically, anyone could still win the World Championship with 8 races left to go, but it's not going to be long before, you know, most people are out of contention there. Ricciardo still third ahead of Sainz there. Verstappen jumps Tsunoda. 7 points between them as we make some good gains on the pair of them here there. Sergio Perez still ahead of Button, and then a drop back down to George Russell as well there. Zhou with his first points of the year, now tied with Lance Stroll. Gio gets the jump on Mick Schumacher on countback as well there. And constructors-wise, AlphaTauri jump Alpine as they make their way up the order here. I mean, they could get 6th by the end of the season as well there. 41 points between us and Red Bull, so the gap does come down ever so slightly as well at the end of the day there. But yeah, McLaren now 43 ahead of Mercedes as well there. Still a lot to play for, though, in the latter stages of the campaign. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with round 13 of the year. We head to Sochi. You guys do not want to miss it. A massive thank you for the continued support from all our channel members. If you want to be featured in these end clips, make sure you click the join button down below. But yeah, once again, a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aiden, F. Stathios, Kato, Sean, Johnny, McBlam, and Mighty Spork for becoming channel members. The support is really, really appreciated.